You see, Nigeria has a way of reducing serious things to childish conversation, because that is childish. I've been around in Nigeria for many years. I've been active since age 19. I hit public limelight as a 19-year-old student leader. I've been invited to cabinets many times in Nigeria, the last being Yar'Adua. And what I said to Yar'Adua was very simple. I am a nation builder. I want our country to make progress. I will join hands with anybody of goodwill to build a nation. But I'm not looking for public office. Fortunately, there was somebody sitting there with him and I. When we met, he invited me. I was in the villa. It was a Friday. He went, David Adevio was principal, chief of staff, will tell you, came, said, let's meet in the house. Went to the house. The last person to leave was Andoaka, after the then NNPC managing director, Yar'Adua, too, left. And I said, I am willing, as a patriot, to take your call at any time of the day, 9 a.m., 2 a.m., anytime, and give you the benefit of my position to help the country. But you see, I'm not looking for a job. And he said to me, no, it's not about looking for a job. It's about your being able to be more effective from inside. And I said, I don't have a problem with being inside. The problem is that I am not so sure from what I see that I'm going to be as effective from inside. Look, I was inside as a 27-year-old. I was inside in the Shagari government. So people who talk about ministerial appointments are sick, because at 27, I was there. None of them could have dreamt of being there at that age. And even then I said, well, should I be here? The drama of how I accepted that is another story. So, Yar'Adua says to me, very persuasively, that it's important to be inside. And I said, okay, like I say, I'm not afraid of being inside. But purpose is greater than power. If you can find 7 good people, I'm glad to become the 8th person. And make it clear to us that we have your mandate to give everything we have to make this country work. And he turned back to me very cleverly and said, why don't you find those 7 good people and then come with them? I said, okay, I can't give you 7 names just sitting, I have to think. Let me go back to Lagos, think and send you names of 7 people. I returned to Lagos, wrote down 7 names, sent them through the then head of service to him. The week after, Yar'Adua appointed the cabinet, including Dora Akunyili and co. A few days later, literally, his sickness took a different turn, and the in and out. So I never got a chance to see Yar'Adua again. I never knew what happened. I just presumed that because my list included people like El-Rufai, for example, who I knew he was quarreling with, that he probably said, oh, no, I can't have this kind of people. That's what I assumed. Because...
And maybe Obi is it?
Yes, she was also on the list. But you see, the point that I've been trying to make to Nigerian leaders is that your team doesn't have to be a collection of your friends. The famous statement, it's better for everybody to be inside the house, pissing out, than for some to be outside the house, pissing in, is the essence of leadership. Leaders blend talent, even in disagreement, to achieve a common goal, a purpose. And so I wanted to make that point that, look, I don't know what you have against El-Rufai, but if you're going to build a country, you need people of that kind of talent to come in, and you manage it. That's why you're a leader. That's what leadership is. You manage that collection of talents to achieve the goals of the country. As I said, I never saw him again. Now, many years later, something that I never thought of at that time then crept up. I was talking to a very revered northern leader, and that one was trying to encourage me. He said, give me your word, and let me go and sit down with Jonathan. We'd like to see you in this government. And I said to him, not the Jonathan government. Not on my life. I won't serve under Jonathan. Why did I say that? I mean, we were the ones who worked hard to get Jonathan in there. All they saved Nigeria, this. But once I saw the character of the regime, I was worried for Nigeria. And for me, it wasn't about me and position. It has never been about me and position. It's a question of what's good for Nigeria. And the character of the government said to me, this can't get Nigeria where it should be going. So I said to this revered northern leader, and I can mention the name, the Sultan of Sokoto, I said to him, I can't serve in this government. So when the conversation went on, I said, okay, this is what happened with Yar'Adua. It's the same basic logic that I am still continuing. The purpose is greater than power. And he shook his head and said, can I tell you something? Do you know that it is very plausible that Yar'Adua never saw your list and probably went to his death thinking you snubbed him? I never thought of that, and it's a possibility. Anyhow, I think that the point to make is that this business of reference to criticism, cabinet, just shows that people don't think enough and they don't understand the character of other people. Maybe because many of them would like public office. They assume everybody's looking for it. No, I'm looking to see a country make progress. I'm not looking for a position in government. I have never discussed a list with anybody. I don't even know whether there was a list or how the list. It's never. I have never talked to. There's only one person that I ever had a conversation with that related to role. That person is Atiku Abubakar for a very unique reason. A lot of people were around me, and the conversation I had with him was, I'm very concerned with the quality of leadership in Igbo land. If there's any role I'd like to play, is being a gatekeeper in selecting the new kinds of people who will be taken seriously in Igbo land. Even Bola Tinubu, that people keep saying I'm supposed to be very close with, he and I have never had 30 seconds conversation on role in government. Not 30 seconds conversation.
Not even with the acting president, Bushibaki.
He and I and others who worked actively on the APC documents, and even he and I have never discussed role.